Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 2 of the as yet unnamed Race for the Wool map making project. I really need a better name for that. I'm BigDamnArtist here as usual, and before we jump into today's episode, I thought that I should probably quickly explain what exactly a Race for the Wool map is, in case you're new to this whole thing and kind of wondering what the hell I was talking about last time. So Race for the Wool is a custom Minecraft map type created by Vex, based on some concepts by Good and some of the other early Minecrackers, I believe, based on Vex's Complete the Monument series. The basic concept is that you have two identical mirrored lanes with a gap right down the middle, and two teams must race through a series of dungeons, obstacles, traps, challenges, and, fight the other team to collect 3 wools that are hidden in various locations around the map. Players can't enter the center lane, and you can only affect the other team through ranged combat. So arrows, TNT cannons, fire charges, and occasionally there will be traps that you can trigger that will affect the other team, and so things like that. The first team to collect and place all 3 wools on the victory monument wins. It's simple as that. So, last episode we looked at the rough plans and began to sort of figure out what we wanted to do in the broad strokes with this map. Today we're actually going to begin construction on something, yay! So today we are actually going to begin construction on the basic terrain of the map, sort of giving us a solid canvas block of clay, if you will, out of which we can sculpt the masterpiece that is our map. There are going to be 2 primary tools that I'm using outside of Minecraft itself. The sort of third one is Photoshop, but we've already kind of talked about that last episode, and there are plenty of free alternatives if you don't have Photoshop. The 2 that I'm primarily going to be using are World Painter and MC Edit. We'll get into the specifics of them as we move forward, so I'm not going to touch on that too much right now, but basically just to give you a general sense, World Painter is basically a terrain sculpting tool. So you get to create sort of big bulk areas of terrain, you can set the biomes, what kind of block types you're using, all that kind of stuff, and then export that out to a Minecraft world. The second tool is MC Edit, which is one of the classic map making tools. It is sort of more of a copying and pasting and moving and rotating, and there's a bunch of filters and stuff that you can use, but it's kind of the intermediate step between sort of the bulk creation of World Painter and the really fine detail work that you would do block by block in Minecraft. So it's that kind of intermediate level, and like I said, we'll get into this more as we go forward, but those are the sort of tools that I'm going to be using. They're both free, and they're both really, really powerful if you're looking to do any sort of map making. I would highly recommend that you check them out. Links will be in the doobly-doo down below, and you can check them out. To begin, I started by creating a brush that we could use in World Painter to help shape the central canyon of our map. I wanted to have a long, flat canyon surface to experiment with a variety of surface types and styles. In World Painter, I created a new world file, selecting a pure stone world with our base height at 50 blocks. This is the lowest point in our canyon. Everything beneath that is just solid stone. You'll see me occasionally check my measurements in the rough Photoshop sketch to make sure that the width and height are all accurate. Next, I used the custom brush I created to extrude the basic canyon shape. You'll notice I'm only creating one half at the moment. Later on we will duplicate and create the other side. Now that we have our basic shape, we need to texture it, give it a little life. I wanted to go for a very harsh and dangerous looking mountainside. This is just a process of experimenting with different brushes, effects, pushing, pulling, smoothing until I find something I like. I export out the World Painter world to a Minecraft file to be able to look at it in-game. Then go back into World Painter, tweak some settings and the sculpt, repeating this until I have something that I like. Once I have a couple different sections that I like, I export the final Minecraft world file and open it up in Minecraft. This is necessary to be able to work with it in MC Edit. Next, I open up the world in MC Edit and make a quick selection box the width of my lane, which is in this case 20 blocks, and look for the best section that I want to use. You'll notice that I've got a very rough looking section and a bit of a smoother section. The rough section will be used for the mountainside, whereas I wanted a bit of a smoother look for the city side. Pulling the best bits of cliffside, I copy them to an unused section of the world and align the 2 halves using MC Edit's mirror and rotate tools to mirror the second half of the canyon. I delete the top half of the city side at height 124 and delete a single line of blocks through the mountain to create a reference point for the center path and the bridge. Jumping into Minecraft, I do some quick manual cleanup on a few areas to adjust the shape of the top of the mountain, and a few other areas before I go back to MC Edit to finish the section. Once I've trimmed the canyon down to just the area I need, I export it as an MC Edit schematic and move over to our main build world. I import the canyon using MC Edit's import tool, place it, and do a few cleanup jobs to build out the basic landscape, including filling in the hollow test form that I had built, raising the floor of the central path to match. Finally, I duplicated and mirrored the base to the second lane position so that we can start to get a sense of what the map will look like. Alright, and there we have it. So you'll notice that I did a bit more manual cleanup work after I finished recording that time-lapse. Just to clean up some of these rough areas, I sort of cleaned up the base of the canyon here, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a natural curve. Sort of cleaned up some of these sections in here. And going up, I also sort of added in this open area for where our starting area is going to be. Obviously, this is still just the most basic building blocks of the map. As we move forward, we're going to be adding a ton of details. But now that we have the actual layout and size of things, we can really start to get a sense of how we want to lay things out. So that's where we're going to leave it for today. Next time, I think we're going to start blocking out the opening resources area, which is kind of all of that, which is the first area that you're going to approach and interact with as a player, and sort of figuring out what all needs to be included in that, and how we want that all to be laid out. So thank you guys for watching. As always, if you have any suggestions or comments on the map or series or anything so far, please leave them in the comments down below or hit me up on Twitter at BigDamnArtist. I would love to hear what you have to say. As I mentioned, you can find me on Twitter at BigDamnArtist. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BigDamnArtist. Or if you feel like supporting me and chipping a couple bucks my way to help me keep making what I'm making, you can do that over at patreon.com/BigDamnArtist. So until next time, thank you guys for watching. I have been BigDamnArtist, and I will see you guys next time.